Face reality, people. Movies are dead. Games are dead. Narrative? Dead.
Media is nothing but neural trigger response and viral conditioning.
Wait, what are you two talking about?
Okay. Just from the hype, I felt the need to watch a movie called The Wild Robot. And because I do watch, from time to time, I watch Jody's Corner, and he reviewed this movie and said it was the best movie of the year. Which, off rip, does not sound like much to me. Not in my mind. Not from the movies we've seen so far. I guess, what, something like Dune 2 would be up there, I guess, for most people. I guess. I think this is kind of right on par with it, which I didn't. Here's the thing. I was okay with Dune 2, and it was an alright movie, especially after the second viewing, where I picked up a little more. I was like, oh, it is alright. Is it greatness? Is it a masterpiece like people keep calling it? No. Is this a masterpiece? No. But they have some elements that are like, that kind of, can maybe put it in that category. Like, it's close. Just like Dune 2, there's elements there that can take you to that level. But I don't see them. I just don't see it the same everybody else does. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Bless me. But no, it's solid. There's two solid movies. Dune 2, The Wild Robot. Listen, the best piece of content, film or TV, I've seen this whole year is Mr. and Mrs. Smith. That show's 10 times better than this movie, 10 times better than Dune 2, bro, in my opinion. Like, it's just a different class, I think. But, everybody's entitled to their opinions. Alright, let's focus on The Wild Robot here. So, I'll say off rep, overall, not a bad movie. It's not bad. Are there going to be things that maybe rub certain people the wrong way? Maybe some of the political ideas, right? Because there is political ideas throughout this motherfucker, especially like environmental politics of, forest fires, which like, climate change, sea level rising and shit like that. That is all in this movie. And usually those type of political things don't really have much depth to them. Like, honestly, other than, I guess, our own survival, and we need to have a movie that personification of animals, right? Give them names and personalities and all that shit. And it's like, damn, you don't want, Teddy. I said Teddy. You don't want, Johnny's house to go down. Johnny the rabbit. You don't want his house going down. But the rabbit doesn't really recognize that, maybe, in real life. Maybe it does. This movie's onto something. Either way, that's going to be harsh for some people. Like, they won't be able to look past it because they're dumbasses. But, I also understand, maybe they have different ideas about the world, and these things are like hurting their ears when they hear it. I'll say fair enough. But within this story, kind of like Dune 2, actually, like there's a kind of a messianic figure type of story going on here, a hero's journey. And as much as what's his name, Bright Bill, the goose, the little gosling, as much as it may seem like he is going through like a little hero's journey thing, it's more so for Roz. Like, she goes through a full blown like messianic storyline of the fall from out of nowhere to being in this new world, right? Fish out of water shut, learning the new world, taking all the lessons of this new world, right? Everything she learned here, and then using it to do the most righteous thing, which is a lot of times sacrificial, which is what I guess she did. But I guess she makes it at the end, right? So, but it comes off as sacrificial when she does do it. It's like some sort of martyr thing. So I don't know. I kind of like that touch. I'm a sucker for hero movies, so I like that touch. Uh, but is it like is it special? Is it Neo level special? No. Is it Bruce Wayne in a Dark Knight trilogy special? No. Is it you know, Nina in Black Swan, or even Evie in V for Vendetta, or even V himself, if you want to go there. It's not to that level, right? Because they're talking a little bit more of the metaphysical and the metaphorical. And this, I mean, it's in here, right? When the fox tells a story, and when he's like, "Oh, you got to tell the little gosling you got to tell babies like a bedtime story so they can go to sleep." He tells a story of the one who fell from a star and out of curiosity and landed on our planet and learned the ways and like learned how to love from experience on in our world or whatever, or in this world. But yeah, there's definitely some metaphors going on in here, which are beautiful, pretty cool, beautiful. And guess what? Badly needed for once again. Do I think these are the greatest? Do I think this is the greatest movie ever? No, but this year feels like an extra drought of films, bro. Like I feel like I'm disappointed by everything I fucking watch. So this was like a welcome surprise, and it wasn't. You know, they weren't. There's some corny shit in here, right? They do the kids movie shit, which I hate. Right, I hate that shit. Right, I would hope adults will respect children's intelligence a little bit more than the way they typically do. This one does a little bit of both, where it's like kind of insulting in certain spots, but also like a little bit more quote unquote adult like content. Also like questioning the ideas of death, and like how do you know, like who are you as a person? A little bit it asks that a little bit, because like kids aren't fucking stupid the way I guess a lot of people think they are, and they're intelligent. Um, so it's kind of a mixed bag in that, because they do some cliche fucking shit here, bro. The training montage with the sappy music, I'm like, bro, this ain't like I don't I don't get it, man. It's like tailored for longtime Disney watchers. Like to me, I thought that was just like whack. Like the song is forgettable, and this moment's kind of forgettable because it's kind of predictable, like very predictable. All right, it's not cool or something like fucking Hakuna Matata or some shit. It's fucking boring. It's like, ooh, you're a star kid. Like you're the best ever. Like music like that, where it's just like holy fuck, man. Like let the kid be something other than perfect. Like whoever this girl's singing to. And the kid doesn't have to be perfect. Add a little darkness to your song, but it's just campy and cringy to me. But whatever. Cringy training montage. Thankfully, the movie doesn't end there or make that its biggest moment, because the hero is Roz, actually. Right? As much as Bright Bill is going through his own little hero's journey, Roz is the big overwhelming one. That's the big dick one. So they gave her the more important hero moments, I think. Uh There's some notes here that I had to like cross out because they kind of made up for it later, or made it make sense later. Like I thought there was about to be a stupid ending when when the uh when the geese, right? It's Bright Bill's first time flying south or whatever, and they find this dome where I guess humans are now staying with their AI super robots. And I thought they're gonna have this moment where it was like, okay, Bright Bill's gonna prove himself as like the hero by taking out, or leading his geese to safety and taking out the bad guy robot, and that would be that would be it. where it's like, damn, you just create a villain out of thin air just to have this character win and then be the hero and then that's it. But I think they save that later on when Roz is actually the hero, based on her journey. Even though, yeah, Bright Bill is a hero too, but like, he's not the big dick hero, bro. He's he's Little Bill, not Big Bill. So I had to cross that out because I'm like, oh, okay, they didn't really make that the climax, the crescendo of the movie, right? They didn't use that as the big moment. It was a moment. It was canned and cliche, but it wasn't the biggest moment. So I'm not going to dock them points for that. Like, it's just something that I guess to keep the story going and add a little conflict and a little bit more story to what needs to be done for the big picture, which is obviously Roz's actions. There's something where I thought it'd be a little bit more interesting is if these robots worked in, like, if you want to like tailor this to be like, hey, human watching the movie right now, like you could be the hero in a way, right? I think the idea of like a hive mind for the robots would have been interesting. And then when she fell, her hive mind broke. The thing that controls her, frequency connection to these stupid, to the cold blooded, no more like morally balanced. I think they call it, or morally kind of like amoral, I guess. But I think they say morally balanced or whatever. Fucking robots that they don't feel right. If she lost, connection, a frequency connection, she breaks that connection from falling. The fall of man type of thing, and then boom, that explains like maybe these robots have a hive mind, and she had to learn to pick up a different frequency, if you will. And then that's where, she goes through the whole journey of these animals and all that shit. Which I guess they're accomplishing anyways. This is just like, I thought that'd be a little bit more interesting symbolically. But they pull it off anyways. They do alright with that. This movie was actually kind of critical of, I guess, humanity's reliance on AI, right? And its reliance on artificial intelligence. I was like, okay, I'm vibing with that. Um, yeah. At first in the movie, I thought they were gonna be like I don't know. It seemed like they were being like kind of in favor, and then near the end, it's like kind of against, or it's not against. I don't think it's for or against. I think it's more of here's what works, and here's warnings of what bad shit can happen from AI. Now, looking at that, like these concepts are in the movie, which is interesting. But once again, I can see how someone might be turned off by that. Like, are you trying to teach my kid, how to think about these ideas or what to think, or kind of push them in a direction politically? It's like that could very well happen, but that it could happen to any human. There could be an adult watching this where their mind changes about one idea or another. Thus, the fucking perplexity conundrum of humanity. Right? I can't say I know exactly how someone changes their mind or thinks the way they think. Right? You'd almost have to know an individual inside and out. I know my way, but others, that's a very difficult thing to understand. So I'm not going to sit here and judge them because they put their own maybe political ideas in here. It's just, I would think a responsible parent would be like, well, hey, there's different ideas out there. This one's presenting this idea. Maybe you can hear some different ideas that contrast with this. But for sure, you don't want it to be something where they're just unconscious to it and it's just they're just downloading it in the back of their head and then acting on it later. That can't be good. Now, once again, I'm not. I still like. I don't think children are fucking like dumb as rocks to where everything could just turn them one way or another. I think there's an aspect that is theirs, like they are them type of thing, and it's the world trying to change them to one direction or the other. And they maybe lose focus on that part that makes them them, because my parents say this, my teachers say that, my siblings say this, my friends say that. Right? There's some sort of influence there trying to move them. This movie said this, and everyone liked this movie, or this movie said this, and everyone hated this movie, and I go against the grain. I'm different, They end up wearing black eyeliner and piercings, which is nothing wrong with that. Just make sure it's from you and not from a bad movie or a bad commercial. I'm all right. I'm going into a wild direction. All right. Main point here. Do I recommend? Yes. Is it the best kids movie I've ever seen? No. I think the Spider-Man movie was better. I think it was more interesting, at least. The Into the Spider-Verse. I think that's what it's called. The second one, or maybe Across the Spider-Verse. I like that one a little bit more. And there's a bunch of kids movies out there. The Last Mimsy. Fucking what else? Howl's Moving Castle. Like, there's fucking movies out there that kids can watch that aren't, dumb as shit. They aren't just like stupid, like, patty cake. Something where a kid could actually think or imagine or dream while watching it, while getting those like heartwarming moments. Right? I think that's what the main difference between a quote unquote family movie and others, right? That they mainly focus on those heartwarming moments, which can be like I said, there's a lot of cliches in this movie, which are canned, like create where the fucking violin orchestra hits, like, oh, that warm feeling in my chest, oh, right? And it's like, wait a minute, are we conditioned to view that as like something like, what if I play that same sound, but it's like someone murdering someone? Like, would we feel the same way about it? I don't know. I hope not. But yeah, not a bad kids movie. Not a bad one. And yeah, adults can enjoy this as well. Obviously, I don't even like to separate between kids and adult movies. I just like here's movies in general. That's how I view them, because I've been watching different types of, like, since I was a kid. I would watch kids movies, but I also watch adult movies as well. I had a full range of films I could watch, and I would just watch them, and I think it matured me a little earlier. Maybe not. I don't know. So okay, do I recommend? Yes, I do recommend this movie. I think a kid could fall in love with it and watch it multiple times, to be honest with you. As a score, I'm thinking 7.5, 7.6. I think it's right at average, and like, or maybe a little bit above average, I think, of like quality of film. Once again, my scale, people are like, what are you talking about? It's a great movie. What are you talking about, Jordan? Okay. My scaling for movie, it has no boundaries. So no, I'm not looking at, The Dark Knight and then watching this movie and saying like, well, there are two different styles of movies, so I have to grade one differently than the other. Like, no. A movie is a movie. If you don't have the lens to see between, like, yes, this is a family genre movie, but these same elements that make something great can still be there. If you can't see that, then I think you're watching movies wrong in the first place, and you're probably going to miss out on greatness. Because if you looked at this like, oh, it's a kids movie, I ain't watching that shit. You missed out on an okay movie, a pretty good movie. Just like people back then, where it's like, Batman, I don't watch stupid superhero movies. I'm too cool for that. Ugh. They miss out on a great fucking movie, an all-time great movie. Me, the best movie I've ever seen in my life, but whatever. So, yeah, my scaling, it is what it is. As much as I'm saying it's a pretty good family kids movie, I don't grade it on a fucking curve for the sake of be like, oh, it's a kids movie, so a 7.5 for a kids movie is actually like an 8 something because it's a kids movie. Like it's hard to make a great kids movie or one that like adults can pick up on. But yeah, I don't do that. I just judge it all in general. So 7.5, 7.6. As far as Jody's Corner goes, and this idea that this is the best movie of the year, I think it. No, it's like I went down my list, like, because I watch so many movies that I have to like look at my own YouTube channel. Like, what movies did I fucking watch this year? And I would say Dune 2, as far as the ones I reviewed, Dune 2 is on that pace. There's already movies from last year that I think are better than everything from this year. Everything. Except maybe this TV show, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. That's like, I think that one's a fucking gem. An actual gem that no one talked about. No one talked about, no one has talked about since. I think is the best fucking cinematic content we have seen all fucking year. And maybe even in a long time. I have to like look back to 2023 and see what's what there, but that movie's fucking good. Or a TV show is really good. And if conclusions can help, they really like give you the form and shape to show you why something's great. They give you that fucking decoder ring, so when you look back at all the other content, you're like, oh shit. These moments make more sense because of how you end it. Like, that show, actually, really, really good. Really, really fucking good. Other than that, with movies, I guess Dune 2's up there. It's probably rivaling Dune 2, but I only gave Dune 2 like a 7.5. 7.6, 7.5. I didn't give it some masterpiece score like some of these other fuckboys did. Like, it is what it is. Like, yo, you didn't read the books to understand the lore of the. But yeah, I get it, assholes. He's, not supposed to be a messiah character. Like, or they're making a commentary about messianic characters, I guess. But it's like, in order to do that, you have to make him a messianic character, which I think the movie kind of was going for. I think they were going for that, right? We're supposed to be in a mystery, not just read the books and know the answer already. But whatever. Sorry, riffing off of that. But yeah, this one, Dune 2, they're kind of close to each other, but is that saying much? Not really to me. Being the best movie of the year is not saying a fucking thing to me. Being excellent, period, from the last 20, 30, 40 years, that is saying something. That is saying something. Being good this year is not saying much to me. So, there you go. All right, here's my review for The Wild Robot. Go check it out. It's not bad. If you have kids, bring them. Enjoy it.